Hi everybody, it's Trisha Jansen, aka the Foodie Princess. I said I was going to make Hungarian goulash. As I said on Facebook earlier, I was invited to a cooking class at the Cooking Block in Redlands, and it's a vegan cooking class. Now, no offense to you vegans out there, but I love my meat and I certainly love dairy. Butter, eggs, cheese. I would be so sad without them. This dish is not vegan, so if you're vegan, you don't want to watch. This is a meat dish. It's a very basic recipe. It's something that's easy. It needs to cook for about 1.5 to 2 hours. And I'll show you, I'm going to do a part 2 video when we're plating it up just so you can see how I plate it. But it's really delicious. So you're going to start with, Grace, can you get that closely? So this is chuck roast basically, and if you have it, back up Grace. Grace is my cameraman today. Good job Grace. This is a cut up Angus beef pot roast basically, and you want to cut this into about 1.5 to 2 inch squares. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put oil in a Dutch oven pan, enamel crock pan.
Hey
and
there.
Hi.
Oh, hey, here.
Hey. You can use Wesson oil, or I'm choosing to use bacon fat. This is liquid gold, guys. I save this in the refrigerator and use this for all kinds of things. I think it brings a lot of flavor. So anyway, my husband has this handy dandy cutter for onions, and I made fun of him for years for having this thing, but it's really handy. And I'm just gonna put that over here. This is about 3 onions worth, and if you don't like onions, what do I do with my spoon? Here it is. If you don't like onions, I don't want to hear it, but this has onions. So it has about 3 onions and about 2 cloves, decent sized cloves of garlic. And Grace, are you getting the inside of this, honey? Can you get the inside? Don't get too close because it'll steam. Go up high. There you go. Okay, so basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna do this on low, and you're just gonna sweat these onions out and let them get nice and soft, okay? And while we're waiting for these to get soft,
My eyes.
yeah, go ahead and pull it back. We're gonna cut up our meat. Now this meat is in very rustic pieces, as you can see. Nothing's, you know, the same size. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut up this meat in about 1.5 inch.
What? No penguin shirt? You should have worn
I
your penguin
know.
shirt.
I have lots of. You know, they're going to be like 1 inch cubes ish. You know, I'm a very.
Mom, you were wearing your penguin shirt earlier. Why did you change it?
Oh, I got something on it. You know, I'm a sloppy eater. You know how it goes. So anyway, you're going to cut these pieces up. You don't want them too big.
Trisha
you know.
loves her bacon.
I do love my bacon. I think bacon fat adds a lot of flavor to a lot of dishes. When I go into a Mexican restaurant, the first thing I'm asking is, are you using bacon fat in your beans? I mean, I know that everybody wants to do a vegan style bean, but it's just not as good. You know, it just really isn't. If there's any large pieces of fat, trim that off. You know, fat adds flavor, but we don't want like big, giant pieces of fat in here. And so you're gonna use about 3 pounds of meat. So make sure that you have enough. This package happened to be almost 4. So I won't use all of it, and I'm going to make some ragu. I posted on my Foodie Princess Facebook page. I'm up here, Grace. Oh, I posted on my.
You wanted to.
No, I posted on my Foodie Princess Facebook page a delicious recipe for ragu that uses stew meat. So if you buy one of these Costco or Sam's Club big giant pieces of packs of meat, you can use the leftover for ragu. Anyway, so I'm going to cut these pieces of meat up, and then in this bowl I have about 2 tablespoons of paprika. Now this is a Hungarian brand. I like this brand. Try and get an authentic dark paprika. And so I'm gonna use that. So it's about 2 tablespoons of that. It's about 1/4 of a cup of just flour. And then it's salt and pepper. About 2 tablespoons of salt and about 1 teaspoon of pepper. I'm very, very, you know, I'm not
That's so good.
Yeah, I'm not a real measurer here, but I'm trying to help you. And what you're going to do is you're going to dredge this beef in this mix. But I don't want to do that until I've gotten these onions sweated out.
Trisha.
Hi, who is it?
I'm Eddie.
Hi, Eddie. Uncle Eddie?
No, Eddie Liz.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I thought it was Uncle Eddie. Ooh, I've got like a rogue onion in here that caramelized a little too much. Okay, so you see my onions? I turned them down because I didn't want them to burn and be distracted, but you do want these to caramelize.
How are you able to touch that onion?
I got magic fingers, girl.
My eyes.
I've been cooking for a long time. Yeah, onions are the base of this flavor in this the paprika, and then the onions really add a lot of flavor.
You touched the hot onion.
No, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. So you want to get these sweated out a little bit.
I can't see it.
Okay, Grace, stop. Nobody wants to hear about your eyes. Get you sunglasses next time so it doesn't hurt your face.
Well, my name is Tough Eddie Lowe.
Eddie Lowe?
Yeah, Eddie L.
Okay, anyway.
I don't know why I said oh.
So
and then Seamus says hi, Trisha.
Hi, Seamus. So another
Mike Kovac says I'm watching.
Hi, Mike. Yes, he was.
See if you can do what my grandma used to do.
Well, Mike, I don't know that I can be that authentic. You know, I grew up in Pittsburgh, and so Grace, I'm talking. Nobody wants to watch onions caramelized for 3 hours. Eastern European food is very popular, where I grew up. And so I grew up on this dish.
The onions are the base to create the thickness of the goulash.
Thank you. They are. And so, and sometimes in traditional recipes, they slice them. They don't have them diced. I like them diced.
Join a broadcast.
Join the broadcast? Who wants to join the broadcast?
I don't know.
People are getting hungry. Anyway, so you want to get these nice and translucent. They're getting there. They're getting there. Yeah, they're getting there. And then we're going to toss this meat. Over here, Grace. Stay with me. You're going to toss this meat in batches in this mix, which again is your flour, your salt and pepper, and your, up here, Grace, good paprika, okay? So that's all that's in here. And the flour is going to thicken it a little bit because we're going to add some chicken or beef stock. Now, I've added
This is making me very hungry.
Now, I've added really good German beer to this recipe before. Back over here, Grace. And if I had a German beer, I would add that. I would probably add a cup of German beer, maybe a half a cup of beef stock. I like German beer in this dish, but I don't have any.
An onion just flew out.
What flew out?
An onion just flew out of the pan.
Oh, I'm a messy cook. That's all right. Okay, so these onions look decent enough. So for Facebook's sake, we're going to go ahead and get these out with a spoon. And you're going to remove the onions because you're going to brown
You had me at German beer.
Say what?
Tony Powell said you had me at German beer.
I know. I just think, and basically when you say a German beer, you're talking about a dark beer. So, all my husband has at home are Coronas right now. So that probably wouldn't be the best in here, although it wouldn't be horrible. And if you don't like beer and you don't drink beer, it's not going to have alcohol in it. It cooks out. You could use red wine.
My hands in there trying to get rid
You
of the
could
fog.
use, lots of different things, but I'm going to use beef stock today. A lot of recipes call for water. And
Throw in Guinness.
And Guinness would be good. You could do that. Any kind of dark beer. A lot of these craft beers have a dark beer. Okay, I'm trying to get all the onions out, and I did. And I'm going to put those aside. I'm just going to leave those there. They'll set here. I'll put that over here. And I'm going to add a little bit more oil, and I'll use a little canola oil to add to my bacon fat in here, just for sake of browning. So you put a little bit in there, and then we're going to turn the heat up.
Oh no, never mind.
We're going to turn the heat up, and we're going to brown these meat pieces.
I was about to say the thing that the same person had said again.
Okay, so we're going to put the meat pieces in. Grace, can you want to? It's going to start heating up again.
I'm sorry, my eyes. I should back up a little bit. It's raw meat.
The raw meat isn't going to hurt you.
No, it's going to sizzle.
Nah, it'll be fine. It's not going to spit. And you want to do this in smaller batches. You want to brown this meat and, get it brown on every side. And what's going to happen after the meat browns, we're going to add the onions back. We're going to add the beef stock and the tomato paste. And we're going to let this cook for about 1.5 to 2 hours. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to plate this up. You're going to use, while we're letting this cook, I'm going to show you. If you want a really good quality egg noodle, you can do it over a spatula if you like, but I like egg noodles, and so I buy German egg noodles. You're going to serve it with sour cream, a little bit of sour cream on top when it's done, and then you're going to do fresh parsley on top, and it is so delicious. The flavors are so perfect. We're getting some yummy action here on the meat, Grace. You want to get in there. And we're going to add more seasoning to it as it cooks, but right now we're just trying to get it to brown. Okay? And this oil...
Ooh, it is brown.
Yeah, the oil's going to stay in here, so it's going to thicken the oil
Trisha,
up a
do
little
you like frozen noodles?
So I do. There's a couple brands that make really good frozen noodles, but
This is vegan meal.
It's what?
Is this a vegan meal?
Vegan.
Vegan.
No. I don't cook vegan, you guys, but I'm gonna go to this class tonight just to learn. And you know what? I'm gonna do a Facebook cooking segment on vegan food. I am, because we've got a lot of vegans out there. And more power to you. All right, so look how pretty you can start to see this meat. Can you see inside there?
Yeah.
The meat is starting to get really pretty. Starting to get really pretty and brown. You want to brown all the sides of this meat.
Looks rustic, love it.
It's very rustic. Okay? And be careful with these cast iron skillets because they start to get really hot really fast. So I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit. And that meat is looking beautiful. I'm going to cut up some more of this to get it ready for my pot. And just keep on going. And then in just a minute or two, I'm going to cut out. And then I'm going to come back later.
Where's the bacon?
The bacon is inside there, actually. It's bacon fat. Bacon fat is in the dish. Who asked?
Dave. You again.
Okay, yeah. Dave, there's bacon fat in here. My liquid gold, always in there. Liquid gold.
It's not really liquid. It's kind of a solid a little bit.
Well, it gets solidified because I keep it in the fridge. You want to keep it in the fridge to keep it fresh. It'll last longer if you keep it in the fridge. So again, I'm tossing. If you just joined us, I'm tossing stew meat, which is basically like a chuck roast meat, in here. It's flour. It's paprika, good paprika. I'll show you again. This one, Hungarian paprika. Salt and pepper. It's very simple. You can see inside the pot. Grace, are you showing the action in the pot?
Yeah.
How beautiful this is getting in here.
Let's keep it high.
See how it's caramelizing on the bottom. All the meat and all these brown bits are going to be loosened when I add in the stock. And it's going to add such a delicious level of flavor to this dish. Okay? You see it?
The meat pieces look a little big.
Yeah, they are. You know, I'm doing this quickly because I'm doing this on Facebook Live, and I wanted to show you, you know, there's a time element here. Everybody's ADD, and a lot of people don't want to, you know, stay for very long. So I'm trying to show you the gist of it so that you can do it on your own. But yeah,
this looks very tasty.
Ideally, you'd want to have, you know, everything the same size, but you know, it's okay. I'm not a perfect cook. I am not a chef. I am just a home cook. I love food. I've been cooking my entire adult life, and that's a long time. I'm old.
Adult life.
Adult life.
You're about to say life, but then you're at, wait.
Adult life. And again, I'm trimming off any like major fat pieces. I don't want like big blobs
Where's
of
the
fat.
penguin shirt? Lol.
Yeah, no penguin shirt. Not today. I don't want to cook. I don't want to cook in my best clothes, you guys. Like my penguins are my best.
Last time you were cooking in it.
I know, but I'm trying to be really careful. It's getting to be the season where I have to wear them like every day, so you know I got to spread it out. All right, so I just keep tossing them and I keep adding them in. Again, doing this for TV value is a little different than you would do it at home. But show this meat. Look how beautiful. You see this caramelization going on with this meat. This is beautiful. Beautiful.
Don't be difficult, little Missy.
Don't be what?
Difficult.
I am difficult. That's my shtick. All right. Feel free to add more oil if you feel like you need it. It is sticking a little bit, but again, I'm doing this for you guys so you can see it, and I'm doing it rushed. So I am going to add more of this paprika in here in a little bit, but for right now, I'm going to do this as the last batch right now, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to put it together. I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm going to let it cook, simmer, slow for 1.5 to 2 hours. And while I'm at my vegan class, my family's going to eat this delicious dinner, and hopefully they save me some.
Like you take all the time making it and then there's no food
I
left.
know, right? I'll be so sad. This is hot, so be careful. Where's my... all right. Almost
What
ready.
seasoning are you adding?
All I added to this mix was 1/4 cup of flour. Grace, she's like ADD. 1/4 cup of flour, about 2 tablespoons of a good dark paprika. So this is a Hungarian brand. Okay. And then salt and pepper. That's it. Okay.
Throw in chopped anchovy. Adds a new dimension.
Anchovy? Really?
I'm Hungarian.
Really? Who's saying that?
Yeah. Seamus.
Oh, really? You're not. You're like Irish or Scottish. You're not Hungarian.
No. Someone. Brian
okay.
Pseudos is Hungarian.
Oh, you are. And so you add anchovy to a goulash?
Flat leaf or curly parsley?
I use flat leaf. I like Italian parsley. That's my preference, but you could use anything. And honestly, Grace and I had to scavenge. It's been so hot here that our parsley is like so wilted and looking terrible, so I don't have that much fresh parsley.
Actually, yeah, it died in like less than
it looked really bad. Okay, so this is pretty caramelized. We're gonna, for TV's sake, we're gonna go ahead.
Some of it is red.
It's good. It'll be fine. Okay, we're gonna add the onions back in. Okay, so that looks great. Get rid of this. And then we're gonna add about 1.5 cups of beef stock. Okay, adds a really nice flavor in there.
It's dark.
It is. And then I'm gonna add my tomato paste, and I just have whatever kind here, whatever you have on hand. And we're just gonna add that in, okay?
Look, it was handy that I opened that.
Yeah. Any kind, okay? And if it needs more liquid, you can add more liquid. I would add, again, like I said earlier, beer, wine.
I want to try some on Wednesday.
Who's
Says
that?
Melissa.
Oh, Melissa, yeah, this is so good, you guys.
Irish and Italian, huge in Italian cooking, which is Seamus.
Yeah, Seamus is awesome. I love your food, Seamus. I miss your cooking. When can I come get your food? Are you anywhere that I can come eat? Is he answering back?
Well, it does take time to type on. You can't
I'm a
just
fast typer. All right, so I'm gonna cover this and I'm gonna let it cook on low for about 1.5 hours. And when we come back, I'm gonna show you guys how to plate this and how to make the best. It's gonna be fork tender, falling apart, flavorful, over egg noodles and sour cream. All right, we'll see you in a little bit.